Hey, good morning, Sioux Falls. It's 10:30 on the 13th. Hope you're having a great week thus far. Thursday, one more day to the weekend and one more day closer to school starting, which is coming up on us quick. So I wanted to give you all some updates on things happening in the greatest city in the world. We have a lot of big announcements that we're working on in the city. Exciting stuff, everything from health-related, community kind of resources, social justice issues we're working on, and we have a lot of announcements coming up on some of these things, which I'm very excited to be taking the lid off those soon. We have a press conference. We're actually going to have a Monday to give you all an update on COVID and what's happening with COVID numbers in our market. You haven't seen a lot of press conferences from us on that in the recent weeks, and that's been intentional because there hasn't been a lot to report, which is a good thing. Steady Eddie right now. Now, while our positivity rates have ticked up over the last couple weeks, hospitalization rates, which is very, very important, stay fairly flat. We've hovered right around 30 hospitalizations at a time. So that's very, very good news. And so a lot of times it's interesting because I think people want to find bad news. They keep wanting to, but this, or they want to find the bad news. And what I keep focusing on is the positives. Like the good news is this, even as cases increase, which we told you would happen and will happen, positivity rates have increased, which we told you would happen, hospitalization rates are low. So even if positivity rates would hit 100%, if hospitalization rates continue to stay low and flat and even declining, that's a good thing, all right? So we got to always look at some of the good numbers and the good things that were happening because there's plenty to be negative about right now, and we don't need that. We got to continue to focus on what we're doing right in Sioux Falls. Schools are starting. I will tell you that I've had a lot of conversations with superintendents, school district board members, teachers, custodians, and right now, we are in this unique place where people have to be uncomfortable and have to be flexible. And there's people who are comfortable being uncomfortable, and there's people who aren't. And you're seeing that. And this is a unique stage we're in. And I tell you, those school leaders that we've elected on both school boards and superintendents, they are in tough positions. But remember, at the end of the day, they are here to ensure your kids are educated properly and safely. And that's a balance. And they are working that balance. I can tell you with 100% certainty that their goal is not to get children sick, all right? Their goal is not to get teachers sick, okay? So they're walking a fine line and doing the best they can. So we need to support our leaders in our school districts right now. And we need to look at this as this is a we problem, and this is a we challenge, but in Sioux Falls, we come up with we solutions. This isn't the school district's challenge or the teacher's challenge. This is all of our challenge, and we're going to get through this thing together. Just like we're going to get through our budgeting, which we're in right now as a city. We're in the process of having budget hearings, of which the council's approving the budget that my administration presented several weeks ago. They'll be making changes to it, I'm sure, reallocating funds and making amendments as they do, which is part of the process that we go through in the city. We also have a couple other things going on that I wanted to clue you in on. One is everyone wants to ask me, or has been asking me about Sturgis. Paul, what do you think about Sturgis? Should we be having Sturgis? And bikers are going to be coming through Sioux Falls, and they absolutely are. And I can tell you what, the biker culture, if you say Sturgis is canceled, you're going to have twice the size of a Sturgis you would have had. So I'm glad they're having the event. They're holding it as safely as they can. People are going to come, they're congregating here, and then they're leaving. And they're going back. And they'll be stopping in Sioux Falls, and we're going to try and make sure that we have safe practices along the interstates with the places where people are stopping with hand hygiene and things like that. So you can do what you can do. And people are anxious to get out, and people are increasingly impatient. They are very impatient, as a matter of fact. In a lot of cases, they're just plain out angry. They're angry. They're angry at wearing masks. They're angry that their favorite business has had to alter things. They're angry at their choices for president, maybe. They're angry at their mayor. They're angry that kids are having to go back to school. People are just angry. And that's okay to an extent, but that anger is not productive. And so I'm looking more for solutions. All right, it's easy to be angry, but if people have ideas and solutions, I'm all open to hear them. mayor@siouxfalls.org. I love getting emails to that, and we're always open to ideas on how we can do things better in the city. Got to remember, about a month ago now, we had the PBR, Professional Bull Riders Tour in Sioux Falls. We had several thousand people over the weekend at the PBR, and we saw very little, in fact, I would say no real change in our COVID numbers as a result. Positivity rate, like I said, is crept up, but that's it. And so I'm not saying, well, spike the football, let's have events, and that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that I think there's safe ways to get back to normal with some of these things. And the PBR was a great example of that. How we did that, we did it safely. It worked. People had fun, they got out and enjoyed it, and people stayed safe. So it's great to see. I was out at the zoo last night. One of the best assets that we have in our city is that zoo, man. We had a socially distanced fundraiser, toured the zoo. We raised some money for our great zoo. Visit the zoo, it's incredible right now. It's looking really great. The grounds are looking great. The animals are looking great. We had a really great time. Then the last thing I'll maybe talk about is we're working on a 911 dispatch center with our colleagues at the county. So you maybe don't know this, but when you call 911, the people who pick up the phone, that's called our Metro Communications. And that's a joint collaboration between the city and the county. It's funded collaboratively between the city and the county. And I would say that of all the services the city provides, that's probably one of the most critical. When you call 911, you expect someone to answer. And you expect someone to get dispatched to whatever your challenge or your problem is. We're working on funding a new 911 dispatch center, which we sorely need. If you ever want to see what sardines look like, you go to our current dispatch center and see those consoles and people on top of each other, and it's needed. And so we're going to be working with the county. We have been working with the county on that to figure out the right funding package for that center, and I'm confident that that's going to get approved very soon, and excited to see that project moving forward. Last thing I'll say is we got some fun stuff happening with the Link, or what we used to call the Triage Center, but it's being called the Link. And there's some funding announcements we're going to be talking about here in the near future. That project is rolling forward. When you talk about social reform, this is a great example of that. Sioux Falls has been working on things long before it was in vogue, I guess you could say, for municipalities to have to look at social reform. We've already been doing it. And the Triage Center is a great example of that. Still on track to open this winter. And we're excited about that project. Again, what that project will do is take people who are experiencing addiction or behavioral health challenges and triage them to where they can best be helped. That may be incarceration, but it may be treatment options, all right? It may be just detox and sobering. It may be some therapy services. It may be a variety of things. It may be they just need a job and we need a work readiness program for someone. So that's what that facility is going to do. It's an incredible addition to our community. I'm very, very excited about it. So I will see you on Monday for our press conference on COVID. We'll talk about that, and wish you all a great weekend. I got a few things going on this weekend out in the community that I'm excited to be at and see some of you out and about. So be blessed. Have a great day, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.